Do you ever have something just not go your way or not the way that you planned? Whether you found this amazing recipe on Pinterest and you cooked the recipe and it totally is not what you anticipated, or maybe you got a medical diagnosis and it just totally took your feet from under you. Definitely not what you planned, maybe for you or for someone that you love. Well, in the context of John 14:1, Jesus is talking to his disciples. And it's moments from when they're about to arrest him and then, go through the process of crucifixion. And he tells his disciples this. He says, "Do not let your hearts be troubled. Trust in God. Trust also in me." And it's interesting that Jesus would tell his disciples, "Don't let your hearts be troubled," when in moments later, he's about to be arrested. And that whole process of his crucifixion and death is about to happen. Yet he tells his disciples, "Do not let your hearts be troubled." He knows the troubles that he's about to face in the totality of all of them. And yet he also knows the troubles that his disciples will face after he's gone. And because Jesus is God, he also knows all the troubles that we will experience. And so the question around believing in God is not if you believe in God, you won't face any troubles. We know that's false because later on in John 16, he tells us that we're going to have troubles, right? But take heart, I've overcome the world. And so when Jesus says in John 14, "Don't let your hearts be troubled," what does he mean by that exactly? What does it mean to not let your hearts get stuck in the troubles and in the sufferings and in the hardships that you're going through? Well, I think he says it. He says, "Believe in God, but believe also in me." And in the context of his disciples believed in God. God was their entire life. It was their entire Jewish upbringing. But then Jesus says, "Believe in me also." And what is that belief? What is that centered on? Well, it's the belief that Jesus really is the hope of the world. Like he really is the hope of all of our troubles. And I know that sounds Christianese, right? But when you focus on Jesus and what he did on the cross and all the troubles that he went through, he is our hope. He is our solution. Kind of takes the sting away. Goes back to that verse, don't let your hearts be troubled. Don't get stuck in that trouble. Again, troubles are going to happen, but how do you process them? If I process them in the context that Jesus already knows what's going on, he already has a plan, and if he defeated death, then surely I can trust him in my troubles, whatever they are. And again, it doesn't take the troubles away, but it does provide a process in which to think about them and to go through our troubles. So the question is, how do you face your troubles? Do you get stuck in your own mind? Do you let your heart be troubled? Or do you trust in Jesus, the only one who can empathize with our troubles, and also the only one that can bring us peace in the midst of our troubles? So the challenge is the same for me as it is to you. When we have troubles, whether that be in 2 weeks or today, go to Jesus. He can empathize with you. He knows what you're going through the way that nobody else does. And he's able to help us in our troubles.